Good morning, Colonel Venkat. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely no, very good morning, and it's a pleasure. Dr. Swami Goswami, it's a pleasure to be connected on your platform.
A pleasure here to hosting you, sir. So let's have a perspective from you on what are your thoughts on innovation and education going together for transform India's education sector for future, and what kind of role being played by AICTE. Over to you, Colonel Venkat.
Uh, Goswami, first of all, thank you for giving an opportunity at AICT for us to be speaking, and I take it as a pleasure and honor that we get a chance to come online and be giving a brief on the various activities of AICT, more so when we are living in a time when the national education policy has been announced. We are year and year plus down the line when it is being rolled out towards implementation. And secondly, and very effectively, we are living in a times when the pandemic situation is though weaning out, but still about the changes from online to normal resume is still about to take place. There are multiple activities, there are multiple initiatives. Everybody needs to understand few things. Number one, technology always played an important role, but not so much the way it is coming out in the domain now. So that is one of the biggest takeaways, which is coming out, that it is the integration of technology into your each and every aspect of teaching and learning. So multiple activities, multiple initiatives have been taken wherein each and every faculty member towards imparting training has come out with multiple proposals where we are now making it mandatory for teachers and faculty members in higher education to understand the dynamics of technology and integrate them. That is one. Number two, we also appreciate and understand that it is the multidisciplinary nature of education which is now going to be the mainstay of education. If multidisciplinary nature of education is going to be the mainstream of education, then in that case, integration of complete education to include student getting a professional education as mandated by the national education policy has been proposed, with a plus minus of the percentages to come as 40 20 20 20, wherein we see first 40 as the core subject, second 20 as core electives, then the 20 as basic sciences and humanities, and the last 20 goes as open electives. The basic sciences and humanities makes it interdisciplinary, and the open electives, wherein towards professional education, you can go on to study agriculture, health, legal, you can go on to study Indian yoga, Indian dance, Indian music, Indian knowledge system, universal human values, makes it multidisciplinary. And you can still go on to understand that it is very much primacy is still given to the core subject. This is how you make our students not only employable as the time comes, but you make him capable of generating employment. That is the buzzword now, to make our students grow to that level at international level wherein they are going to be generating employment. Another very important aspect which I would like to mention, and I would like each one of us to understand that particular subject, happens to be a very beautiful phrase which has been mentioned, and multiple entry and multiple exit. So the whole lot of mechanisms are going to go about and implement this, with academic bank of credit already in the draft stage of the various guidelines towards it. Already the system going towards making the students who earlier could not pursue education and had to drop out midway, they are to be accommodated back. And towards that, AICT is already going about into a curriculum revision. Our model curriculum is undergoing a revision to make it multidisciplinary and to accommodate students at every level. In case they drop out, they should be in a position to have some sustainable employment to sustain themselves. Multiple initiatives to make our faculty members competent, capable, and motivated have been initiated. Post making the teachers capable and competent, it is mandatory to also make sure that they are accountable to the system. And once we are making sure that they are accountable to the system, that is done by various means of assessment. And the means of assessment which we have taken up as an initiative happens to be 360-degree feedback. And number two happens to be a very unique activity of AICT's assessment portal called as Parak. All these activities, ladies and gentlemen, there's just limited few. There are multiple initiatives. In the one of the biggest initiatives which is well known and is something which needs through your platform propagating happens to be AICT NEET, National Education Alliance for Technology. It is an wholly solely based on the latest technology, where in a single platform where you can get multiple opportunities for internships. And for every 4 paid internships, AICT gets a free internship. And this free internship, which comes to AICT, we give it to students from SEDG category, socially economically deprived groups category. So that is another activity which we are doing it. What I wish to mention is, ladies and gentlemen, that through this initiatives of AICT which we have done through the pandemic which we went by to the current times, and the situation is returning to normalcy and the colleges are starting, there's a vibrancy which has been created. And let me appreciate the complete education fraternity. Let me appreciate your platform that you have been showcasing the activities of this education fraternity always in the forefront. And when everybody in the world was still wondering as to what needs to be done to overcome this, it was only the education fraternity which continued unabated, whether it's a faculty member, whether it's an institute, whether it's a organization. So it's a job well done by these faculty members and institutions, but it needs to be carried forward. And I would be requesting uh, various people who get connected in terms of industry, in terms of academia, in terms of various alumni, to come forward and make sure that we remain connected. We align our education to the latest industrial necessities. We align our education to the various international requirements. And why not? The vision of NEP 2020 is something all of us are looking forward to. Vision happens to be making India at the top of global hub of education as what we were for Nalanda and Takshashila. And why not? In very short span of time, we should be seeing ourselves rising to that occasion. And AICT will always be at the forefront. There are many more activities, many more initiatives, time permitting and situation giving us another opportunity. Goswami, I will be at length speaking on those things, but I think I would rather be curtailing myself because I do appreciate and understand you have other speakers also. I'll very much be connected. Should there be any clarity required, it will be an honor. And thank you once again. It's always been a pleasure to come on your platform. Warm regards and Jai Hind.
Same here, Colonel B. Venkat. Always a pleasure for us hosting you. And as you rightly said, that AICT is going through a process of revision of curriculum, especially focusing on multidisciplinary education, which is envisaged in the National Education Policy. That's quite interesting. Thank you so much, Colonel B. Venkat, Director AICT, for joining us in the inaugural and